Yeah, we just talked about housing. It's like I'd always been south of here, so there's like a million different options down there, and up here it was and it was also a little less time frame to pick something. So it was all right. It was good. I luckily have Michael Brantley's from the area, so I've known him for a long time. So I was like, hey, if you got any recommendations? Right. So yeah, it made it a little easier.
Nice. So the off season dragged on here. Did you have a good feeling you'd be back with the Mets, or did it kind of come together just at the end there?
We'd been talking to him, so it was something where, I mean, I enjoyed my time here, and we were obviously hopeful that it would be something that would happen, and but yeah, it wasn't something that I thought was oh, this is for sure, a for sure thing. But it came together pretty quick, which was cool.
What was it about the experience that made you want to come back? Because I remember when you first got here, you were kind of getting acclimated a little bit to the city and stuff like that. What made it so appealing to come back for you?
Just the clubhouse, and the vibe, and obviously the team is good, but it was just they were really welcoming for me and my family, and everything around. The baseball is the baseball. That's the easy part to see. It's a lot of the stuff that goes into the behind the scenes, the quality of life things for families that matter for people with kids and stuff like that. That actually takes a bigger weight than most people would assume. But yeah, like I said, they took great care of my family, and that meant a lot to me. And obviously, the guys in the clubhouse were great, and have a lot of guys come back, so it was cool.
Before you did re-sign with the Mets, how did the free agency process treat you and develop?
I mean, it's free agency right now is super weird. It's I don't know. It feels like everybody kind of uses the same formula to kind of value people, and there's minimal variance. It looks like, but I mean, it is kind of. I don't know. I feel like it's last year was really slow, and then this year was quick and then dead, and then quick and then dead. It was just kind of everything happened in like pockets. It felt
Spurts.
It was. I don't know. The past two off seasons have been pretty strange, just because it's either really really active or absolutely nothing's happening. Yeah. So it was just kind of weird.
They added some guys to the rotation. They didn't go to the top end of some of whether it was Fried or some of those guys. Do you think when you look at this rotation, is there any kind of concern that there's not enough there, or how do you view the rotation?
I mean, I don't think so. I think a lot of it that I look at is do you have guys that are proven to be healthy? That's a huge thing. You have a lot of guys that are in the rotation or that are slated to be in the mix that are healthy. They eat innings. That's huge. And obviously guys with good stuff. You just kind of go from there. Obviously injuries happen every year, and there's nothing you can do to really predict that. There's a lot of depth, and there's a lot of guys that can pitch and can pitch in the big leagues effectively. So I think I don't see that much concern. So I don't know. I think it's not really my job. It's I just go out there and play.
Ryan, from your time here last year, what was it about whether it was the conditioning crew that seemed to get a lot out of the pitchers that come over here? Last year's rotation, a lot of guys to pitch to their top of their abilities. The bullpen pitched pretty well. Is there something about that group that you noticed that was able to do that, staff-wise?
Like coaching staff,
yeah,
or
coaching
players,
staff,
or both, or
the coaching staff, conditioning staff, all the staff on the staff side.
I think a lot of it is just you have everybody pulling in the same direction. There's not one person trying to go, hey, put their finger on somebody I did that or I did this or whatever. It's not a lot of there's no ego in it. It's how can from the ATs to the strength staff to the pitching guys to the analytics guys, how can we pool our knowledge together to make everybody the best version of themselves? And I think so much of it is there's not six people pulling in six different directions. When you got everybody pulling in the same direction, it just streamlines the whole process, and everybody's kind of on board with what's going on. I think it's a clear focus, and that was that to me is super valuable.
In your discussions with the Mets, did they tell you about how they envision, what sort of role they envision for you, right back to where you were in October, or do they communicate that at all, or those discussions don't even really happen?
I mean, sometimes they might, but like it was just but I think those only really happen with like closers, really. Like it's like there's no, for the most part, there's no guys that are going, hey, you're going to throw the 8th inning every single day. Right. That doesn't like really happen. So like, I think the thought and the hope is maybe what happened down the stretch, but like, I think a lot of it just depends on how the season goes and who's hot at the time. A lot of times, like obviously you see it, like the bullpen goes like hot hand sometimes. It just kind of like a lot of it goes in kind of like some kind of fluidity in those roles. But I think that's probably like the hope is that I can kind of slot into some similar role. But I don't know. It wasn't really discussed.
Do you know AJ Minter at all, and what do you think of that acquisition?
I don't know him personally, but I mean I've been in the league pretty much. I think we're like a year apart. I mean he's always been really good. Like he's been a guy that's eaten a lot of innings, thrown a lot of high leverage, been super successful, like done it on a winning team. Like I mean there's not a lot to dislike about somebody like that, especially from the left side. Like those like high leverage lefties are always in high demand, so it's never a bad thing to bring in somebody that's got his resume.
And as a reliever, what do you think about Clay Holmes trying to make that transformation to a starter?
Actually, it was something that got brought up today, but like it's something that you're always like interested to see because it's not an easy transition. But if there's somebody that can do it, I mean, Clay's a big dude. Like it's like I would bet on the guy that's to be capable of doing that. I'd bet on the guy that's big physical guy with stuff that plays. He's high, like he was high velo in the bullpen. Even if the velo ticks down a touch in the rotation, it's still plus velo. It's a good sinker. It's a good breaking ball. Like he's got all the tools to like make it work. So, I mean, I'm not gonna bet against him. I think he's a really, really good pitcher, and like I think he's more than capable of doing it.
You want to give it a try?
No, I'm good on that.
You said you guys were talking about that today, Ryne. What is it? Do you guys, as relievers, kind of root for a guy that's kind of making that transition into that kind of role, or how does that come up in conversation? Like, what are you talking about when you have that conversation?
Yeah, you root for it to work because he's on our team, but like it's like I think that's more of the thing. But I mean, I think we were talking about it, like acknowledging that it's a difficult transition, and it's like it's not always going to be like a linear thing. It's going to have probably some times where innings limits may come up. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know their plan. That's not my business.
Right.
But like, it's hard to add 125 innings to somebody's tally from the year before. But like that's kind of why I get into like he's a big physical guy. Like if anybody can do it, with someone like him, like it like that looks like it makes sense to me.
Ryne, you talked a little bit about how only the closer has maybe that set responsibility. Has that kind of evolved as your career has gone on, and how do you kind of approach maybe not being the 8th inning guy, maybe knowing going in you might face these hitters, or the day-to-day of that?
I don't know. It's interesting because like I came up with Tampa, so it's like I've thrown in every situation in every inning, and like you just kind of got used to not really knowing where you pitched. So like from the early part of my career, I had no idea. So it was just kind of like as soon as the phone rang, it could be you, it could not be you. And then, I've never had like I don't think I've like in my career have ever been like, hey, this is your inning, like regardless. I've always kind of like gone based on matchups or whatever the flow of the game dictated. There have been stretches where it's like that role is like, or whatever role had been kind of like put on me, but it's never been something where it's, you know what I mean? I don't know how to like clearly like put that, but like that's like the best I got for you. Okay.